This might be the rawest, most eye-opening take you'll stumble across online right now. I'm about to spill some heavy truths, stuff I don't usually throw out there for just anyone. Think about this for a sec. We've all got it drilled into us that Nazi Germany was straight up evil. Fascism? A total disgrace to humanity. That's not even up for debate. It's basic decency. If you don't see that, you're missing something big. But here's where it gets messy. Once you've dug into history like I have, really peeled back the layers, you start scratching your head. Sure, Germany's fascists were monsters, but how does the US get to strut around as the world's shining beacon? What gives them the right to sit at the top table? Let me be crystal clear. I'm not here to polish up the Nazis' image. Not a chance. What I'm saying is there's a whole bunch of fascist types who dodge the spotlight, and it's not just a couple of stragglers. Take the US for starters. That land wasn't always white man's country. Native Americans were there first. Yellow-skinned folks like us, not Europeans. According to some solid numbers from Xinhua, their population crashed from 5 million in 1492 to a measly 250,000 by the early 1900s. Call it what it is, genocide. So tell me, hand on heart, what's the real difference between that and what the Nazis pulled? How come after World War II, America's hailed as the global lighthouse, while Germany's stuck as the ultimate villain? If you've got half a brain, the answer's obvious. The US and Nazi Germany? Same damn cloth. Both are fascist in their own way. One wiped out Native Americans, the other went after Jews and Europeans. No flaws in that logic, right? So again, I'm not defending Hitler's crew. My point is this: when it comes to judging fascists, some big fish slipped the net, and that's a fact. Now back to reality. Do you reckon we could haul the US into court? Make them hand that stolen land back to the native victims? It's the right thing to do. Should have happened ages ago. But is it even possible? Based on how things actually work, can I lay out a cold, hard truth? Here it is. Nazi Germany was rotten, no doubt. But beyond them, there's a pack of other fascists who not only dodged the gallows, they swaggered onto the world stage, slapped on a mask, and crowned themselves untouchable saints. Like Washington, for instance. How many Native Americans did that guy screw over? Or let's boil it down simpler. Isn't this world just a game where the strong never face the music? I came across this take that I hate, but I can't shake it. Tell me if it holds water. Morally, who's right or wrong might be clear as day, but in the brutal real world, only the winners get to slap the fascist label on whoever they want. What's the difference between what the US did and Nazi Germany? Hell, America might have killed more. Native victims, black folks, Chinese laborers, all hit with genocide-level grief. So why is the US the beacon and Germany the bad guy? Neither's a saint. Is it just because Germany lost and America won? Winners call the shots, set the rules, and twist the law to fit their story. Thinking about this stuff sends chills down my spine. Sometimes chasing the truth too hard leaves you shook. Things get dark fast. Take Australia, right in our backyard. Does that place really belong to white folks? The original Aussies were brown-skinned folks, Asians, not Europeans. Western colonizers rolled in, wiped them out, and took over. That's modern Australia in a nutshell. So here's a gut punch question. When some people say, don't mess with Australia, it's theirs, respect their sovereignty, doesn't that stink of racism and fascism? Think about it. We trash Nazi Germany and Japan's militarists because they invaded and genocided their way across maps. Fair enough. But Australia? That land belonged to its native brown folks first. So these white settler descendants, what's their legit claim from an anti-fascist standpoint? If we say they've got a right to it, doesn't that just prove the creepy conclusion we landed on earlier? History's a winner-takes-all deal. Win and it's yours. Even if you stole it, even if you butchered for it, you still get to wave your flag and call it sovereign. If you don't buy that, then Australia's white folks, those Western colonizers' kids, can't claim it. It's not theirs. They stole it, robbed it. Now the original people, barely a handful left, shoved to the edges by genocide. Where's the law in that? Where's the sense, the anti-fascism, the human rights? Shouldn't anyone with a shred of justice in them stand up, back the natives as Australia's true rulers, kick out the white colonizers, and give the land back where it belongs? That's just decency, returning what's rightfully theirs. But if some insist Australia is the colonizer's prize, not the natives, then aren't they secretly saying, hey, if the Nazis or Japan had won their invasions, that land would be theirs too? That's a shameless cop-out. Flip it around. If white folks can snatch a place, settle in, and call it home, then by their own twisted logic, any nation with enough muscle could do the same. Steal it, and it's yours. So these truths, dig into them, and they'll freak you out. America? That was yellow folks' land once. It's basically a Nazi success story. Except today, the U.S. owns North America, legit in the UN's eyes. I hate admitting it, but they pulled it off. Their ancestors took the heat, cooked the rice, and now their kids feast on the spoils. Australia's the same deal. Colonizers slaughtered their way in, and though most victims are gone, a few native survivors hang on. If we're talking morals, shouldn't those white Aussies pack up, head back to Europe, England, or wherever, and hand the keys to the originals? That's just right, isn't it? Lost property returned. Lately, online chatter has been hot about Australia. Some sellouts pipe up. That's their place. Stop daydreaming. It's disrespectful to their sovereignty. What sovereignty? Explain to me what claim colonizers have. It's not their land, never was. Calling it theirs because they stole it? That's some Israel-style nonsense. Grab it, keep it, done. You sure you want to run with that? Stick to it then. Because by that rule, any powerhouse could muscle in, take over, and call it theirs too. So here's the deal. Either white colonizers own Australia, but then anyone stronger could snatch it by their own playbook, or we face facts. They're just thieves, not owners. The real bosses are the natives. This video's here to wake you up. We're born into this world swallowing a Western order that's handed to us like gospel. But have you ever stopped to ask, does it hold up? Is it fair? Or does it play favorites? Seems like there's two rule books out there. One holds China to saintly standards, while the West colonizers get a free pass to act like dirt. They can point at any spot on the globe, say, I took it, so it's mine, and that's that. But if anyone else even thinks about it, nah, you're stuck being the honest schmuck, grinding away following the rules. Marx laid it out in asterisk, capital asterisk. Wage work won't make you rich, not people, not nations. Only cutthroat grabs build empires and leave the rest in the dust. The West? They'd love for you to never question if those rules make sense. If we're anti-fascist, why do some fascists get a pass? World War II victims like the Jews? They're untouchable now, globally respected. Us Chinese, Russians, ex-Soviet folks? Where's our nod? Check Western history lessons. Soviet Union's been scrubbed out. You'd think the U.S. won the war solo. How many Westerners know the Soviets lost over 20 million soldiers freeing Europe? Here's the bottom line. Whether you're a proud patriot or a superpower, step one is waking up. Stop clinging to someone else's story. This global rulebook? It's not truth, not some sacred law. It can't even keep its own morals straight. How else do you explain why some monsters get hunted and others don't? Fine. Japan's useful against China, so the U.S. lets their war ghosts slide. Germany? Too juicy a spot in Europe, so America clamps down hard with NATO. Same crimes, different treatment. Where's the justice in that? Look at Israel. Same game as the Nazis played on Jews, now flipped onto Palestinians. Yet Western media spins it. Palestinians are the savages. Israel's just defending itself. Laughable. Dig into this world and you'll see morality is just a tool for the big dogs to pick and choose who's guilty. People and nations need principles, sure. But first, figure out if the rules you're following are actually legit. Ask yourself, are these rules really rules? Double standards and selective justice won't hold up forever. The world's moved on some, but deep down, it's still eat or be eaten. The West won't say it out loud. They'd rather you stay clueless. 'Cause if you don't know, you'll keep slaving away, never realizing you've got the muscle to sit at the table too.